Before we jump into the league here, I am doing a giveaway, 3 Magic Online codes good for 120 play points. In order to win one of those codes, all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, and leave your Twitter handle in the comments below so that if I happen to draw your name, then I can contact you directly on Twitter in order to send you the code. You can find my @ in the description of this video, but it's @FacedMenace. I will choose 3 winners in a couple days' time of this video going live, so don't miss out on that. Hello and welcome, guys. I've gotten a couple of requests asking that we go over maybe a less complicated non-analyst list, and this is the list that I've arrived at. In the main deck, we're playing 0 copies of the card Aftermath Analyst. You may be familiar with that card considering I've covered it on the channel quite extensively, but the reality is it's just tedious to click through, and for some people, it's a little bit easier to just go with the tried and true Dryad Titan lines, and it makes it a little easier to play through on Magic Online as well. So there's a couple of very real upsides to not playing Analyst, and that includes being able to play only bounce lands and crumbling vestiges as opposed to having to play a couple copies of Lotus Field. It allows you to play up to 3 copies or more of Mycosynth Gardens. It just sacrifices a little bit of the power of being able to make infinite Titans and attack with all of them. But honestly, I don't know how necessary it is to have access to all that. Sure, it's nice to be able to copy your Analyst from a graveyard and start going off against control, but regardless of how you feel about playing Analyst, today is a list for those of you who are trying to play without Analyst. We've got a full 4 copies of Fire Spout, considering apparently red-white energy is just everywhere, and there's also Mardu energy as well, and Fire Spout is our best card against them, so we're going 100% all in on Fire Spouts, in addition to some dismembers for the Blue Magus. And so without further ado, let's jump into match 1. Alrighty, so we're in here for match 1 with whatever this hand is. We will keep it. Maybe this hand is a trap, but I mean, come on, how are you not going to keep this hand? So we'll play out Amulet number 1, see if our opponent has a force. It could be playing Living End over there with turn 1 Breeding Pool. No force, or Spell Pierce, or something like that. Yep, and there's Generosent, so this is definitely a matchup where we'd prefer to be playing Aftermath Analyst, but, you know, we don't have access to Endurance here either, so this might be a pretty tough matchup for this particular build. Unless we just continue to draw excellently. Crumbling Vestige doing super huge work here, allowing us to play our Amulets out and giving us something good to pick up so we can leave our bounce land in play here and still be able to play our 1 ring and all of that. So we will just go ahead and do that. Are you going to force this? They didn't force a second Amulet, so cycle Waker, so they're looking for a force, potentially. They put another Waker in the graveyard, and didn't find the force. Alright, so let's go ahead and draw with our ring, and we might just be winning next turn. We have drawn the Oran Reef, which is a little unfortunate, but we might be able to work around it. We've also drawn the Vesuva, so that's interesting. We can get at least 3 Titans into play, and hopefully attacking as well, assuming our opponent doesn't have Subtlety here, which they could. If we draw like a Grazer or something, then we could potentially try to set up, like, playing second Amulet, playing Bounce Land, leaving a green floating and play Titan, and then if they Subtlety, we can draw it with the ring and Grazer in Bounce Land to play Titan again. So that's something to be looking out for. Might be able to use our 1 ring to undo Subtlety, but we would have to draw a Grazer or a Summoner's Pact for that to work, so I don't think Dryad would do it. Have you ever seen a Crumbling Vestige that made 4 mana the turn it came into play? Because you just might, and it might surprise you how effective it can be. It's worth noting that we can make the, similar Grazer play if we were to draw exactly another Titan and a Grazer, or some permutation of cards that's similar. Our opponent's just going straight for the Living End. Okay. So a couple of 7 toughness creatures there. All right, let's see what we draw here. Explore kind of does it. I think that works. Let's play Amulet and see what happens. It resolves. All right, let's play, I guess, Vestige. Let's see. If they were to counter our Explorer, then we would want to have additional green floating, potentially. So we could, like, play Dryad into Bounce Land if we draw Dryad off the ring, and they were, like, to counter our Explorer or something. I don't know if that's thinking too deep on it, but I'm just going to go ahead and play out a Bounce Land here. Ultimately, I don't think it'll matter, because if they had a force, they probably would have used it quite a while ago. So, like, if they just drew a force, they might just let us have the Amulet, because we already have 2, and that's not the most important thing to force. Like, they might just wait for us to cast a Summoner's Pact or something. Okay, we found the Grazer, so now we can play around Subtlety like we had discussed. So let's play our Vestige here. Just float a bunch of mana with our Vestige, leave it untapped, and let's just slam a Titan and see what happens. If they Subtlety this, we can let that happen, put the Titan on top. There's the Subtlety. So now we put the Titan on top of our deck, and then we play Grazer to put in a bounce land to get enough green, and then we draw the Titan with our One Ring and go for it again. I guess another subtlety would be kind of annoying. We're not necessarily dead if that happens, though, so let's draw with our ring. Oh, look! We drew a Primeval Titan! Isn't that so lucky? That is just so lucky, don't you think? Alright, well, put in a Cruel Turf here. Again, being able to make mana progress here thanks to Crumbling Vestige just being absolutely fantastic. Pick up that Vestige, play our Titan, and let's go get some lands. So I guess first things first, we want to Mirror Pool. We'll go Mirror Pool, and we probably could do Vestige here, right? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4 from the Vestige, 1 from the Mirror Pool, and then activate. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that works, so we'll do that. Put all the Mirror Pool ones on the bottom just in case. Oh yeah, we definitely have enough mana because we're getting even additional untaps with the Mirror Pool here that I wasn't factoring in, so. Alright, let's make a copy of our Titan, and then we'll say yes. And now we can go for the Pact line, and then if our opponent forces our Pact, we'll at least have 2 Titans that can block. So again, this is all assuming they would have just held on to the Force and not use it on the 3rd Amulet or Explorer or whatever. Maybe not a bad assumption, they would have done that earlier, so I'm not really expecting our opponent to actually have this here, but it is technically possible. Transmute. We'll go get Summoner's Pact. I suppose we could go for Cultivator Colossus here, since we don't necessarily have lethal through the through our opponent's board. I think we might as well go for Cultivator. We won't have any trouble paying our pact, that's for sure. And we get to activate Oran Reef here, and even Vesuva Oran Reef if we really want to. That gives us tons and tons of blockers. Alright, I'm gonna Vesuva the Oran Reef, but we can potentially go for a Dryad here. Say done to this. Yeah, the whole world is at our disposal at this point. Just classic Cultivator Colossus things. Don't even worry about it. So I guess the play is to just put counters on everything with our Oran Reeves, and then float mana with everything else, and then pack for a Titan. We might even be able to copy Amulet here, and then haste all 4 things. We might actually have lethal here, weirdly enough. All right, let's start untapping some stuff. All right, we'll activate Oran Reefs a couple times here at least, because I don't think we're going to need the mana all that much. We even have Explorer and Grazer in hand, so not too worried about it. We'll just activate a couple more Oran Reefs here as well. We're going to have a very large Arboreal Grazer, let me tell you. And we'll just pick up the Growth Chamber here. And we'll go for an Explorer, I guess, first. Yep, and we drew the Dryad, so we can play that before we get the Titan. So let's copy Amulet with Mycosynth. We'll play Dryad, and now we pack for Titan, and then Titan will get Valakut and Hanweir, and then we'll be able to go insane. 1 Titan, resolving. Seems good. Seems fine. We'll go Valakut, Hanweir, and haste about 4 giant trampling threats, and that should be pretty good. And we beat our opponent's subtlety using the cute little Grazer trick that I was talking about, essentially. Save targets upstairs. No thinking required. Surprised our opponent's not conceding in this spot, to be completely honest. If I wanted to get even more damage through here, I could have picked up the Vesuva copying Oran Reef and then Grazered in another Oran Reef. Haste this Titan, and then we'll haste that Titan right there. And then we'll just play a One Ring using our floating mana because we can. Attack with a couple of these. I think that seems pretty reasonable, don't you? Let's get a Valakut and let's say a Mycosynth Gardens. And our opponent will be promptly dead. I guess going for the Cultivator Colossus was the right line. Always yes, and let our opponent's demise approach. There it is. Go to sideboard. So winning game 1 against Living End is extremely important. All right, so we're trimming these 7 and bringing in these 7. So we can do the on the draw trick where we go to discard and pitch a Titan, you know, things along those lines. But it is a little worse against them now that they usually bring in Endurance against us, especially since they know that we usually play Aftermath Analyst. Like, Endurance just makes sense, so they will always have Endurance. So that's something to keep in mind. Speaking of, we will keep this hand. It's going to be bad if they have a turn 3 Magus or a Force of Vigor, but if they have that, then we'll just lose and go to game 3. It's not a big deal. Can't beat everything. Otherwise, this hand's quite good. So, all right, we'll lead on our Saga and our Amulet and pray our opponent does not have Force of Vigor, because if they do, then we'll just probably die. But that's all right. I suppose they could also have Foundation Breaker, and that would be mildly annoying. They mill over an Endurance. That's interesting. See if they have the Breaker. It looks like maybe yes. Yep, they do. Well, at least we still get to keep our Amulet. That's better for us than if our opponent just went straight into Force, you know? Crumbling Vestige would be the best. 8? Ah, that's really close, actually. We'll take that. We can potentially Titan next turn if we want to double pact and lose to anything from our opponent. We could go Bounce Land, Mycosynth copy Amulet leaving green, pact for Grazer, then Grazer up to 4, Explore up to 6, pact for Titan and play Titan, but that loses to like every freaking thing on the planet, so maybe not the best choice. Then again, we might be losing to our opponents living in regardless, so... Oh, another Foundation. Okay, well now we probably just lose outright, but... I don't even think we have a Bojuka Bog to hope to draw to slow our opponent down here. We probably just straight up lose, but we will continue playing on by playing an Explore here, and we'll play Saga. Again, they can, if they living in, I guess maybe playing the Saga was bad because they can living in their Foundation Breaker back into play. Yeah, that was kind of rough. Honestly, we didn't have much of a chance, even if we did play out like Bounce Land or T-West. We'd just be able to slam a ring and like try to get there over a couple turns, but it depends on how big their clock was. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think we would have been dead to their board regardless if they had living in, so maybe it doesn't end up mattering, but technically playing the Saga might have been a mistake. Oh, they have Beseiju. That's way better for us than living in, so if this is their line, I'm okay with it. Also, playing the Saga out means that we don't have an untapped land to play Ring this upcoming turn. I guess probably it's better to wait on the Ring to, you know, fog their board anyways, but they have 2 cards, milling over a Cycler here. Interesting. Dismember, of course. All right, let's play the T-West, I guess, so that we could draw an Amulet and potentially make use of it. We'll be playing 1 ring next turn regardless, so we'll go to Instep. Maybe they play a Magus here and we get to Dismember it. That would be fancy. Nothing, huh? So they're just holding up interaction. Otawara. Nah. Let's just pick up our Beseiju here. It would allow us to cast Titan this upcoming turn, or deal with our opponent's Blood Moon or something. I don't see any red mana, so I'm not expecting Blood Moon here, but in theory, they could have it. Endurance. Yep, that one doesn't do anything against us because we're not playing the Analysts, so Endurance is kind of just blank here. We'll just let the Endurance beat us down as well. Not a huge deal. They might have that 4 mana instant that lets them living into instant speed. I don't know how much I care about that. Let's just untap. So if we pact and go for a Titan right this instant, then they can Subtlety up, like hard cast Subtlety, and then if they untap and living in us, we won't have enough mana to like ring to try to like not be dead. So it might be incorrect to go for the Titan here. As weird as that is, we can dismember their Endurance potentially, but I think it's going to be correct to just pass. Playing the 1 ring on this board doesn't do anything because it's not getting us any turns, although they might use a force on it. Honestly, we don't care if they force one of our packs, though. So I think I'm going to play the Mycosynth Gardens and then pass. And if we have to dismember something, we can. And not have to lose any life for it as well, for whatever that's worth. The Cycle Awaker. Okay. If we had a Bojuka Bog, then there might have been an argument for trying to jam a Titan, but it just seems so likely to get Subtlety there, and we also don't have a Bog, so this is really just not anything to think about there. I suppose we could also Otawara to balance our opponent's Endurance, saving a Dismember in case they have a Magus, since Dismember will be better against the Magus. I don't think that really accomplishes much, though, so let's just take the damage and maybe Dismember on Instep if they don't do anything. Okay, it looks like they're not doing anything, so let's just go ahead and Dismember now, I think. We'll go black, Dismember the Endurance. See if they don't do anything about it. Okay, we'll untap. Okay. Well, again, we're at the same kind of impasse where if we pact and they interact with it, then they untap and living in, we're able to pay for... I guess we'll have enough mana to play Ring if that happens. Not to play through a counterspell or anything, though. I don't know that's getting better for us, however. It's probably okay to pact here. Let's play the Beseiju, so we have insurance against Magus. I guess there's also a chance that they just let a Titan resolve and then living in our Titan to the graveyard, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it wouldn't be great. I guess we can pact now, let them put an Endurance in play if they want to. The next turn we pay for the pact and play 1 ring, worst case scenario. I think that's alright. I guess we could also potentially go for Cultivator, but I'm just going to get the Titan here. See, we'll do it like this. Titan resolved. It's a little surprising, actually. No Bog here to play around things. Let's see, what do we want? Could get Sagas into play. In 2 turns, we'd have double Amulet. I think that's probably okay. It's bad if they have specific... Oh, we have double Mycosynth, so we can get like 1 Saga and then get something else to play around them having Magus. Maybe like another Forest, perhaps? Or go ahead and get a Valakut into play. I think it's debatable. Valakut and Mirapool are both good choices. I don't think Forest really makes a lot of sense here between Valakut and Mirapool, and I think I'm more inclined to go ahead and get a Valakut in play, potentially. Mirapool might force them to living end our Titan to the graveyard, perhaps. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Valakut, though. It might help us clear their board if they do living end. The Saga will set us up with an Amulet in 2 turns, and since next turn we'll be able to fog our way through their Living End that they most likely have here, with the One Ring, assuming it resolves, then we'll be able to untap and have triple Amulet in play, and I think that'll be a good spot to be in, so at least one Saga is probably correct here. They milled over a Living End, which is interesting. Probably doesn't end up mattering, to be honest, and they found the Living End outlet here. Again, not surprising. We'll slam our One Ring and hope that it works. Oh, they get to Foundation Breaker away our Saga. That's kind of annoying. Well, we also had to force them to have them living in the first place, so I don't know. Debatably, could have done something different. Maybe double Valakut would have been better. Let's go ahead and pay for our pact. Tap the, Valakut here. Vestige. All right, so let's go ahead and play our One Ring. See if we can fog a turn here. Okay, so we successfully get to fog a turn. That's really good. Play another Mycosynth and pass back. If we can draw an Amulet with one of our ring activations here, then we might be in business. Our opponent is able to hold up Subtlety, but we're going to have tons of mana, and Explorer lets us play around our opponent's, at least one of Subtlety from our opponent. Dryad is not bad. Let's see what we find. No Amulet. Oh, Defense Grid is interesting, though. So we have 10 mana, 11 if our Dryad resolves. So we can go Dryad, or we can go Defense Grid into Dryad, into Titan, and get Vesuva Valakut. We'd get 2 lands entering times 3 Valakuts is 6 total triggers. I don't think that does it. We probably have to Otawara to bounce our ring and replay ring here. So let's do that. We'll bounce our ring. And that went through. So I guess we go land Defense Grid ring. That way they have to pitch cast a force if they have it. So we'll make a, say, green mana here, play a Defense Grid, and it goes through. All right, so let's play our ring and hope that we can buy one more turn here. They're gaining life with food tokens, okay. My heart stopped for a second because I thought they were about to do something important, but instead they're just gaining life with the food tokens, which, okay. And we found an Amulet. That's huge. That's probably a game-winning, important type of draw. So next turn we might be doing something like playing Amulet, copying Defense Grid. We copy Defense Grid with one of the Mycosynths, play Amulet, copy Amulet twice with the other 2 Mycosynths, and then try to go crazy with double Defense Grid and play. That might be a route to victory. All right, let's see what we draw with our ring. But I think we might have this one locked up, actually. Dismember is doing nothing, but and another ring is even more insurance. So let's go copy Defense Grid. Let's go copy. Oh, hold on. We don't even have Amulet in play yet. So let's start by playing Amulet, I suppose. Let's copy that one, and then we'll copy that one again. And I think we probably just win the game at this point. Just triple Amulet out of nowhere. Thank you, 3 copies of Mycosynth Gardens. I'd like to see the analyst list do that. I like how our opponent has 5 mana and they can't cast literally anything. That's not bad. Our opponent's like, how did this happen? All right, let's make sure we're not going to die to our own yields here. We'll play Gruul Turf, and then we'll go Dryad into Explorer probably, and then probably pack for Colossus, I think. Pick up a Gruul Turf. Here's Dryad. And I guess we Explore first, because we could find another Valakut that we want to play or something like that. Oran Reef. Okay, well, we'll just not play that one just yet. And we're pointing all of the Valakut triggers upstairs. That is for certain. Save targets you, opponent. Always yes, always yield. This is how it happens to you, opponent. This is where we're going from here. I know it's quite distressing, but it's not distressing for me. And let's go ahead and get this Cultivator Colossus into play. I guess we could Titan into Bounce Land, pick up T-West, something like that. I guess Titan is technically the more guaranteed win. We'll go with the Titan. Say yes to that one, and we'll get Valakut and Growth Chamber. Yep, our opponent, you've been a good sport, but it is time for you to exit this game. Just another 12 damage to the dome, no problem. Always yes. Give me this T-West. It's mine now. I mean, it was always mine to begin with, but it's definitely mine now. And now we could go for Cultivator Colossus if we want to. Let's just go for Titan, though. I think it'll put less triggers into play, and that's probably a good thing. Titan, please. We'll go yes. And then we can go Mirror Pool and, I guess, Simic Growth Chamber. Good games, opponent. I can't believe we just 2-0'd Living End like that. That's unusual for a build that's like ours. They're gaining life with the food tokens, for sure. Oh, Otawara to bounce Dryad. Okay, well, okay. That interacts, I suppose. Float some mana here. So our opponent, they had something, but they probably should have Otawara to bounce like an Amulet or our Defense Grid when we started out or something. I don't know. Maybe there's just nothing our opponent could do there, to be completely honest. But let's play Dryad. We'll leave some colorless floating so we can activate Mirror Pool here. And we will go ahead and make another Titan. And this one will get Hanweir for sure. Okay. Well, that was a really cool match, I'm not gonna lie. Who needs endurance anyways? Let's jump in here for match 2. Ooh, we got a turn 1 Amulet hand and Explore. You already know I'm gonna keep this all day long. Leyline and Gigantha, huh? Okay, so our opponent's presumably on like Zoo or something. Classic Wooded Foothills, just tapping for mana. And of course turn 1 Ragavan, because why would it not be turn 1 Ragavan? It's alright, we'll just kill our opponent. They won't have Leyline for sure. I know that they don't have it, and the reason I know that is because I don't, and I'm just saying it because I would like it to be true. See what Ragavan steals from us this time. Crumbling Vestige. Okay, that's fine. I mean, Vestige would have been really good here, not gonna lie, but they have the binding? Unfair. Now I would have loved to have Vestige. Dude, just mono 1-drops from our opponent. That's a pretty good way to beat us, not gonna lie. Let's play out our Oran Reef here. Take a little bit of a beating, try to resolve the 1 ring and go from there, I guess. I don't know. Our opponent having turn 0 Leyline and quadruple 1-drops, the first one being Ragavan. That's a pretty good line from our opponent. And despite this happening, I don't know for sure that Fire Spout is actually good against our opponent. Like, they'll probably board out some of their things that are weak to Fire Spout. And, like, they have tons of threats like Scion and Kavu that don't actually die to Fire Spout. So, like, oh, speaking of Kavu, they have the freaking Kavu too. Jeez. Are we just dead? I mean, we get to play Dryad to block here. I don't know if that does pretty much anything. Let's go ahead and get this Gruul Turf into play, I suppose. So we block this, take 8. We can block a Nakatl, take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, so we have to block the Kavu, and if they kill our Dryad here, then we just die. Does this have Trample? Does not. So we have to chump the Kavu and then chain some rings and hope that that puts together a win for us somehow. And that our opponent doesn't find, like, a Lightning Bolt. You drew a land, opponent. You drew a land. Nothing important, just a land. Just pay 3 mana and put Gigantha in your hand. Or forget that you can even do that and just pass the turn. Explorer looking pretty awful right now. We will be boarding this one out. We have green and white, Scion. No, this gives the Kavu Trample. I think this puts us at 1, which means that we'll die if we activate our ring. We can draw before we play our replacement ring, so we at least get 1 card out of each of these. Exile the Grazer, that's kind of sad. I do like Arboreal Grazer. I know it may surprise you all, but I do like Arboreal Grazer. And they're playing our Grazer. Actually, mad respect for that. Actually, huge respect. We'll play a Saga here. And we can explore into Otawara to play Ring as well. So let's do that. Just get more lands into play as fast as possible. Here's a Ring. Not activating, because then we'd be going to 0 on our upkeep. So we'll wait until next turn to do that one. See if they drew Lightning Bolt. We do have 1 more ring where that one came from. Lightning Bolt would matter. Stubborn Denial would probably matter. Swinging with Kavu to get the trigger. Discard and draw. We'll see what they drew, because they wanted to get rid of it, it looks like. Discard Tribal Flames. Yeah, that one makes sense. Not quite the right burn spell of being sorcery speed there. Another Scion, that actually doesn't matter, so it's annoying that they have lifelink with everything here. All right, so let's lose 0, trigger our Saga, and now we'll draw with the ring. Play, I guess, Mycosynth, so that we'll have guaranteed double Amulet next turn, and then we'll play a ring here. We even get to activate to make a Saga token if we want to. Definitely keep the new ring, that's for certain. And I guess we just go ahead and play out the Dryad here, so it's mana efficient. And I think we need the Vesuva in hand to copy Bounce Land, so we'll wait on that one. Okay, so we have a route here. Actually getting lethal into play will probably be pretty difficult, though, being honest. This is an example where having the access to go for infinite Titans using Analyst would have been impactful, because our opponent's board wouldn't matter and their life total wouldn't matter, but at 30 life, I don't know for sure that we can actually get to enough damage here. We'll find out, though. Let's activate our Saga for mana here, get an Amulet, and copy that bad boy. Do you think we need to do that? Maybe we don't. Let's draw with the ring first, I suppose. Vestige. So we don't have a threat here. We can bounce our Otawara, and then Otawara bounce our ring and replay the ring. Let's start by trying to copy Amulet. So if they have drawn a Leyline binding, they binding the Amulet instead of the ring, potentially. So yeah, I guess we're going to play map and play our ring here. We'll go Vesuva copy, Gruul Turf. We're doing this Otawara bounce a ring thing again. So that's something I've done as often as I'm doing today, but obviously it does come up, so let's go ahead and return our ring. We'll play Forest because we can, and play Ring. Do not Stubborn Denial me, opponent. Oh my freaking gosh, they drew Stubborn Denial. Well, you know, I can't really complain about it. They were able to loot their draws with their Kavu, so let's just go ahead and go to the next one. All right, so we are boarding out these 7 and bringing in these 7. All right, and we have a very good hand, so we'll keep it. It's almost a turn 2 kill. We would need 1 extra ramp spell, but Explorer's boarded out. Another Grazer or Summoner's Pact would let us get to Titan on turn 2 with double Amulet here, which is almost certainly a win. So we'll lead on Mycosynth and Amulet. Luckily, our opponent doesn't have access to turn 1 Leyline Binding via a turn 0 Leyline of the Guild Pact. Oran Reef is not a fantastic draw. That is just the fact of the matter. I guess we do want to put it into play, though. We'll hold on to our Grazer, I guess, and we'll, I guess, on our opponent's upkeep copy. I mean, we're going to get blown out by Force of Vigor either way. Guess let's just go for this now. Lush Portico. Interesting they're going for this instead of a Tri-Land. Mill over Lightning Bolt, yeah. Bolt's not doing much against this hand now, is it? See if they have the Tri-Land and a, oh, no, just a Kavu, huh? So what you're saying is that you're dead. That's what you're saying, is that you are not alive. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's make some mana here. We can go Cultivator into Titan if we want to. Maybe we want to, I don't know. Is it better to go Titan into Cultivator? We'll be able to get double bounce land. Probably Titan into Cultivator is better. Even if we were to miss somehow, I think that ultimately will end up not mattering because we'll have a Titan and a Cultivator in play. So let's just go ahead and pack for our... Oh wait, we don't even have Cultivator, so we're just going double Titan. What am I saying? Yeah, we'll go double Titan. Here's 1. We might be able to get 3rd Amulet in play here. We get Mycosynth Bounce Land. Bounce Land will float 4. Mycosynth will tap for 1, and we'll have the 1 left over from Oran Reef after activating to be able to get to a 3rd Amulet and still play Titan, so we'll say yes to that. And I think we're going for Mycosynth here. Mycosynth Bounce Land. We'll get Simic. Float all of our mana first, just to make sure we have enough to do what we want to do. So we have exactly 7 floating, so if we use 1, we'll have exactly 6 to play Titan, so we're good to do this. And now we play Titan, and we can Mirror Pool copy Titan, and then also Tolaria West and get another Titan into play. So we'll go Mirror Pool Simic. Yep, that's what I thought. All right. Now I think we're just running it back. We'll just submit. Our opponent's on the play here, so that's where the danger zone is in this matchup, is having to be on the draw in game 3. It makes things a little harder. This hand is essentially just missing a 2nd Amulet effect and a bounce land, but we have Dismember to try to interact here. Our Saga is potentially weak if our opponent has, like, anything that interacts with it, but I think it's probably okay to keep this. They mold the 6 to 5, actually. If we can dismember their big turn 2 threat here, or like a turn 1 Ragavan that they're hoping they can ride to victory, then things will look pretty good for us. It's going to be very swingy based on whether they have an answer for our Saga or not, though. So no Leyline, no 1-drop. Okay, we'll play the Saga and pass. If they play a 2-drop, we'll dismember it, and that'll be a huge gain in tempo. Looks like they have Kavu, Brawler. Okay, so we can dismember this, and it wouldn't be bad. Then we'd lose if they have Harbinger, and I'm not really scared of Brawler specifically. Plus, we don't have anything to do next turn anyways, so I'm just gonna untap here. I don't see a reason to fire off the dismember just yet. Play our battlements and pass. We need to find that bounce land, though. It's really the moment of truth. Do we want to dismember this? I think we're just going to take a hit real quick. I think it's not the end of the world, since we might next turn just be activating Saga for a chump blocker anyways. Damping Sphere. Okay, well, we have Boseiju for that, so that's good. Okay, now I think I definitely want to hit the Kavu, or not the Kavu, the Brawler with the Dismember, so let's just go ahead and do that, since our mana is going to be pretty restricted. Just use our card while we have it. We'll go ahead and Boseiju this, I think. I mean, we could play a One Ring instead. I don't think there's a reason to play One Ring necessarily. It would deny us our green source to be able to activate Boseiju if we try to do that now. I think we have to Boseiju the Damping Sphere. It's kind of awkward though. I think we do have to do that, and we'll just play One Ring in 2 turns, I guess. Make a green here. I think Boseijuing this now is going to be the best thing. And that enables us to draw a bounce land and be able to cast One Ring next turn anyways. Probably One Ring will be better in 2 turns than it would be next turn anyways. We have a land, Leyline Binding. Okay, that's fine. Still, Bounce Land is our best draw. Untap Force ain't bad. Lets us play One Ring next turn, so we'll just take it slow here. Our opponent's got a slow draw, so we'll just keep... I'm really glad I dismembered this brawler since they have absolutely no threats. So, in fact, if they continue to play like this, I might not even play the One Ring because it would just be playing into Stubborn Denial, since we could wait a turn and pay the 1. If they play a threat here, then I'll just jam the One Ring, but they buy Gigantha. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely not just jamming the One Ring into Stubborn Denial. I think it's okay to wait a turn, so I'll just wait. They might even tap out and play Gigantha this upcoming turn, so... Looks like they just drew all lands, so, yep, they're definitely holding up Stubborn Denial. I can feel it. Oh, yeah, they're definitely holding up Stubborn Denial. Well, we have to jam the One Ring into it, I think. Well, there's our land to play around Stub, but now that it's going to be activated by Gigantha, so it doesn't really matter. Does that mean we just wait? I don't think we can afford to wait, to be honest, even though they have the Stubborn Denial. Like, I guess we're just going to jam Titan next turn if we can draw an untapped source, or a Vesuva even to copy Crumbling Vestige would work. It's not getting better for us if we wait on the One Ring, sadly, so we just have to jam it and let them Stubborn it. Is what it is. Show me the stub, opponent. Just tap your Xander's Lounge. There we go. Swing back to them. Nothing we could have done to avoid this, but this lets us play Titan next turn, so. Oh, that one does not cast Titan. Okay, and now we're losing to frickin' a Bolt effect, or Tribal Flames. We can't really do anything about it. If this was an untapped green source, getting punished by Crumbling Vestige being a Vestige instead of just a basic forest. Go to 2, see if we're dead. Gruul Turf. I think we're just dead. I guess we have to pact for like a Grazer to block. Seems sus, but it's what we got to do, so we'll do it. I guess unless they want to Stubborn Denial our pact, we could go for Dryad potentially. Not that it really has much difference. We'll just go for Grazer. I guess, nah, there's really not a significant difference between the two. Like Grazer, put in our Vestige. They have 3 cards. What could they possibly be? Floating a blue here as well. Okay. Consign to memory, huh? Okay. Let's make a red and haste our Arboreal Grazer. Here we go. But now we have to draw a ring. Actually, that was a really wasted consign to memory. It did literally nothing, and now we can top deck a One Ring and get an extra turn, so I will block. They probably just have, like, tons of stubs and consign effects, and they just wanted to throw one out there. Say yes. Ring? Nope. Alright, well I guess we're doing the same thing as before. Let's play our bounce land so that we can filter. I guess we just pick up one of our Mycosynth Gardens. So let's go tap, tap filter for green. We'll pick up the tapped Mycosynth, and we'll go pact for Grazer again. Not the typical way you see Summoner's Pact being used. It's, basically a time walk here. Would you like to consign the Grazer trigger again, opponent? No? Okay. That's understandable. Summoner's Pact, 4 mana Time Warp. Kavu, that doesn't do much. I would like to chump block again. Alright, let's pay our taxes here. Now we can play Titan, but it's not doing much. Yeah, we just lost. Again, I feel like this would have been a pretty different game on the play. On the draw, we're just always behind, so there's just nothing we can do. Alright, well, that sucks, but we'll move on to match 3 here. Alrighty, we're here on the play against MTG Vent. We have a pretty horrendous hand that we'll mulligan. And we have a slightly horrendous hand that we'll keep. Horrendous in the sense that we don't have a bounce land yet, but otherwise acceptable. We're not super likely to draw a bounce land, but that doesn't stop me from keeping it anyways. We'll go Forest into Amulet. Sneak in underneath our opponent's turn 1 Thoughtseize if they have it, or just get hit by turn 1 Force of Negation, pitching Tameshi. Hey, we're playing against Tameshi Bloom. That's pretty awesome. Tapping creatures and energy and stuff. This is just something they can pick up and then replay when they're doing a Tameshi combo type thing. And another Amulet's quite good, I'm not gonna lie. Let's play, it doesn't really matter, we'll play Mirrorpool here. Another Force? Okay. Maybe this is that mono blue, like, combo deck. We'll see. I just don't know why they would be playing Tameshi, but they do play Lotus, whatever, Bloom. Let's play Otawara, I guess. We could potentially Beseiju one of our opponent's lands. They probably don't. They probably do have lands to search for, actually. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Is it better to Stone Rain our opponent or make our 4th land drop, though, is the question, because we really don't have anything going on. I'm just going to untap and decide afterwards. All right, we have a Dryad to play. Let's just do that, and we'll play the Beseiju. I think we just need to hit all land drops. It's kind of sad that we can't just, like, hit all of our opponent's lands with Beseijus and stuff, but we have to try to make something happen here. Oh, Bounce land, bounce land, bounce land. Oh, no bounce land. All right, well, I guess we get to see our opponent's deck list here, but hindsight is 2020, I guess. Now we know that they don't have any lands to search for. Swing two. Oh, okay, I was not expecting that one. That's pretty funny. That's a reason to have held on to the Beseiju. Not that I think we would have been able to win anyways, but see what they show us. 48 cards. So they do have Lotus Bloom. So this is mono blue, lots of commandeers. I don't know what to do with that information. Pact of Negations, or Tameshi comboing with Lotus Bloom, Force of Negations. I don't see any subtleties, but they're probably in the sideboard. They have Pentad Prisms, Charbelchers. Like, maybe we end up wanting to sideboard in Force of Vigor. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna board out these 8 and bring in these 8. Oh, sorry, we gotta cut one more. We're only boarding out one ring. Be on the play here. And I guess we keep this. See if they have the Force for our turn 1 Amulet again. Pass back to them. Hopefully Explorer will go the distance here, double dutying, finding us additional lands, and also letting us play them. They do have the Force, okay. Oh, Whir of Invention. I only just now realized why this is in their deck. For 3 mana, they can just search for that one. Lotus Bloom, and put it into play so they have a Black Lotus. Preordain, okay. We might get our Titan commandeered. It's not something that I would prefer, but it definitely could happen. I wonder if they would have commandeered an Amulet had they not had the Force of Negation. Maybe so. All right, we need to find lands here. Land Explorer. No! Worst possible. I bet there's 2 lands on top of the deck now. I bet they're both bounce lands. That's what I bet. Here's the Pentad Prism. Yep. Oh, that's right. I guess usually they can have multiple colors here, but they just happen to have mono blue lands over there, which is kind of sad for them, I guess. I'm going to prioritize trying to find additional land drops, so we're just going to explore here. Okay, map is something we can play. Yikes. We need to find lands. This is what we need. Harbinger of the Seas. Not surprised by that one. We can just map for another forest here. Ugh. Of course, the land we draw after our opponent plays Harbinger is freaking Urza Saga. We can explore into a land. Oh, we can map into land and then play Explore. That's what we want to do, is map for basic forest. And then we'll go ahead and play Explore and try to find a land here, or not. Man, we're just struggling. Every single Explorer has missed on our extra land drop. All 3 of them. And we're probably dead here. So there's also that. Yeah. Dude, what a joke of a match. Oh my gosh. All right, well, at least it was fast. We'll jump in here for a match 4. We will play first here. Weird hand. Very weird hand. I feel like we can do better. Yep, this counts. Gotta be willing to mulligan with this deck, that's for sure. We will definitely keep this one, and I guess we're bottoming map. We could bottom bounce land. Map can be another bounce land if we need it. We'll bottom the bounce land. This map can also be other things, like a Talari West, or a Mycosynth Gardens. You never know. Could be anything. We'll play Saga Amulet here. The feared turn 1 start from Amulettitan, of course. See what our opponent is playing. Haven't played against Boros yet. I'm getting a Boros feeling. Arid Mesa. That could be Boros. Am I a prophet? Perhaps. And we'll play our map here and swing back to our opponent. All right, opponent. I am potentially killing you next turn. It is Boros. Or Mardu. I called it. I knew it. See if our opponent has a way to interact with us here. The 1-mana enchantment that will exile our Amped Raptor. Screaming Nemesis. I don't know what this card does. 3 mana, 3/3 haste. Whenever it is dealt damage, deals that much damage to any other target. If a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life for the rest of the game. I don't understand. Why do you have that card? What does this do? I really don't get it. I guess it's a way to like beat opponents having Flage or something. I really don't understand. But regardless, you are dead, opponent. So we get to execute the very typical double amulet kill here with our Titan. Here's 1 Primeval Titan. Oh, I guess we actually could go double bounce land into Cultivator, and that's probably better. Yeah, I guess we're supposed to go double bounce land into Cultivator. I guess we can copy our Titan first to get an extra land in hand. I mean, the actual kill... So the kill here is bounce land, Mirror Pool, make a copy of Titan, haste both Titans, attack with both. First trigger gets double Mycosynth, double copy Amulet. Second trigger gets Oran Reef and something else, and then we get to hit them for exactly 20. And that doesn't rely us having Basuba, but there's other ways to go about it. I guess the fastest way is to just kill our opponent, huh? Let's go bounce land, Mirror Pool. No reason to go for Cultivator when we might just draw 4 Arboreal Grazers and not be able to actually win the game, so we'll just do this. So let's copy this guy. This one will get Valakut Hanweir, haste 1, and then we'll go ahead and haste the second one. Pick up the Hanweir, I guess. So now when we attack, we can get Mycosynth Gardens and Oran-Reef first, since we have Vesuva in deck. But if we didn't have Vesuva, we would set up the kill like I talked about before with double Mycosynth and then getting Oran-Reef. But here, we have the freedom to go Mycosynth and Oran-Reef. So let's place our amulets here. So let's start by activating and floating mana with our Mycosynth. And then we will copy Amulet and activate Mycosynth again. Or not Mycosynth, activate Oran-Reef again. And now we search for Vesuva to copy and any other land. So let's go Vesuva and I guess Tolaria West. And we'll copy this Oran-Reef, and our opponent is facing down lethal. So this is a little faster than playing Cultivator, I guess. Activate once, and I'm just going to let the Tolaria West mana go away because our opponent's dead, so there's no reason to take any more game actions this turn. All right, game 2, where we get to bring in a pile of fire spouts. Heck yeah. All right, so we're sideboarding these 9 out and these 9 in. We have a very good hand, which we will keep. And this is a great example of a hand where we can just hold the amulet instead of playing it and just lead out on Grazer so that our opponent doesn't just cast a little enchantment that will exile our amulet for no reason. No reason to expose it to that. I don't know, maybe if we're lucky, they'll exile our Grazer with a little enchantment. I doubt that, but... Or when we go Dryad this upcoming turn, for example... They just entombed a Flage with their Elegant Parlor. That's always a neat little trick. Amped Raptor. To Galvanic Discharge to kill our Grazer, I suppose. That's fine. Not too concerned about that. Now we have to decide if we want to commit the Amulet or not. Because we can go Boseiju, Dryad, into Bounce Land, pick up Boseiju, and then any land off the top, any untapped land lets us just cast Titan. Otherwise, we're just casting the One Ring, which is fine. I think that's alright. I'd rather make mana progress and not be reliant on the Amulet. We can use the Amulet if we want to, but we're pretty likely to draw lands here, so let's not put ourselves too heavily reliant on this Amulet. Next turn, if we're not casting Titan, we're just casting a One Ring, which is equally as good, and will help us to find the land that we're missing, so I think this is going to be better off, or better for us overall. Hey, there's the enchantment I was talking about. So we would have gotten destroyed here if we'd played the Amulet and just not made any mana progress. Now we can just play the One Ring and, you know, maintain our position. Might even hold Boseiju to play around Blood Moon, potentially. If we draw a land off of our One Ring, it's pretty free to do that. Another Boseiju is not bad. We'll play our ring, draw with it, and we'll go ahead and play a Boseiju since we have a backup, and play this Amulet. And next turn we'll be able to Titan them. Another Ajani, okay. And we don't really care about this. What could they have, like Path to Exile, I guess? That would matter? I don't even think they play Path to Exile. Galvanic Discharge would be 1 short. I don't even know what they could possibly have for 1 mana here that would make me afraid. So I guess I'm not afraid. We'll draw with our ring here in a second. Hold. Oh, they could have Orim's Chant to stop us from casting something. That would be interesting. Straw with the ring. Cruel Turf is a good one, so we'll play that. And as long as we don't pact, we're not going to be dead to Blood Moon here. That is obviously something we want to be thinking about. We'll pick up the Boseiju as well. So we'll go Titan, and then we can go Bounce Land Hanweir, play Dryad, and then replay Hanweir after we bounce it, which I think is the play. I bet there's probably a way to play Dryad before we play Titan, is what it is. So we'll go Hanweir, I guess just Cruel Turf. And we'll get the Simic in play. Pick up the Cruel Turf, play Dryad. I guess Mirapool. And they could kill our Dryad in response if we play any land that enters tapped here. So we'll play a Boseiju and then tap it using the Dryad ability for red. And then they can't get us with Galvanic. We'll activate on our Titan here, and we'll attack, I guess, Ajani. And we can get Valakut and maybe a green source so that we can play out Grazer, because they have to kill Dryad here for them not to just be pretty much straight up dead. So assuming they do that, a Grazer to chump block probably makes a lot of sense. So we'll get Basic Forest here that also plays around Blood Moon. And then we'll get these cats out of the way. Always, yes, always yield. Okay, looks like we probably just win the game then. Get this Ajani out of play, have Blood Moon covered. I am just going to go ahead and play our Grazer here. Get this Amped Raptor out of play also. Yeah, things are looking good. They can play Flage now. We got a Dryad back. That's pretty cool. I guess they could have Wrath of God. Here comes Flage. Alright, Offended, why are we still playing this game? Why are we still playing this game? Certainly. They killed our Grazer. The utmost disrespect. Okay, alright. Last match. See if we can get our league value back here. Alrighty, last match on the play. And we have a turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Explore hand, which you already know I'm going to keep. So let's just play against Boros again. Is that too much to ask? And we didn't even use Fire Spout either. We beat Boros and we didn't even use Fire Spout. Opponent mulligans to 6. All right, let's lead on this saga. See what our opponent's made of over there. Blooming Marsh. Interesting. And Delighted Halfling. So we're playing against a Yawgmoth. That's extremely interesting. I am going to explore into the Vesuvia saga here. Our Game 1 hand is very good against Yawgmoth right now, I will say that. Games 2 and 3 can be a little more difficult. We have some Dismembers. I'll probably bring in Fire Spout too, even though it really only kills Delighted Halflings, and if they play them like Ignoble Hierarchs, maybe. It's enough of a roadblock, it's probably worth having, but honestly, it's not even that good against Yawg. Wall of Roots, okay. That's a very good card for them, in general. It's crazy to me how important Wall of Roots actually is in that deck, because it enables Chord of Calling, it mana accelerates them during their own turn. It's just really good. Malevolent Rumble, on the other hand, I don't really understand why it's in our opponent's deck. I know that Yawg is playing Malevolent Rumble recently. I am not a big fan, to be completely honest. I guess it's better against us than like Orcish Bowmasters or something like that, but they kept a Boseiju, so they have a Boseiju in their hand. But Titan is coming down this turn, so that Boseiju is going to be a little too late, opponent. Sorry to break it to you. Oh, well, actually, they can Boseiju right now. Again, thanks to Wall of Roots. So, get this Amulet. Go ahead and play Gruul Turf, I suppose. See if they go ahead and Boseiju now. They Boseiju the bounce land, I suppose. Yep, they wait to Boseiju the bounce land, which makes sense, to be honest. I probably would have hit the Urza Saga and upkeep, as opposed to the Boseiju, Boseijuing the Gruul Turf, but this is reasonable also. So let's go ahead and get our land here. I guess we might now be searching for Expedition map off of our Saga. So I think I'm just gonna pick up the Forest. So we can either Dryad into land, then we search for map, crack it, go bounce land, 5, Grazer up to 6 to play Titan. Or we could just play the Ring right now. Probably Dryad is better, because playing Ring doesn't guarantee that we get to Titan next turn, but this does, and we pass. Again, look at Wall of Roots. Look what it's doing. I would Fire Spout this board, that's for sure. Another Rumble, huh? Okay. Hapatra, that could be bad news. I think it's a little too late for Hapatra to be bad news at this point, but I could be wrong. If they go like land, Hapatra, they have 1, the token, 3, 4, 5. It's not quite enough to chord for Yawg, so, and they did choose Hapatra, so, they play Shifting Woodland, that's interesting. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be enough for them. Yep. Alright, so, oh, we drew the bounce land too, so now we just get to get second Amulet and go ham here. Is there any consideration for them having a second Boseiju? I don't think we can even play around that, to be honest. So I'm just going to get Amulet, go hit 5 so we're not yielding to our own Amulets like a stupid person. And I think we just killed him, so. If we play Grazer now, then that lets us... It doesn't really change anything, actually. So we'll just Titan. And we'll go for the typical kill, copy our Titan, and then haste both with Valcut, and go from there. So Mirror Pool and Bounce Land. I guess we can get Crumbling Vestige here. 3, 4, 5, activate. Yeah, Vestige works. I don't think it matters, though. I'm going to get Vestige. I think it's technically correct, but we'll have plenty of lands in play if I'm not mistaken. This could make a difference if we need the land in play for Valcut purposes. So float some colorless. And we'll copy that one. All right, now we go Valcut Hanweir, and our opponent will be gone. Copy number 1, copy number 2. I was just thinking, a long time ago, I made a video on how to play Amulet Titan. And one of the things that I included in the video is that you shouldn't be playing lands like Litjar and Mirror Lake, because they just lead to you dying when your opponent solitudes or removes your Primeval Titan. But at that time, it was not understood that using Mirror Pool allows you to combo off of a single Primeval Titan and double Amulet. And since then, that has been completely debunked, and now every list plays 1 copy of Mirror Pool, which is just fascinating to me. Alrighty, so we're boarding in these 5 and boarding out these 5. And I guess we keep this. It's definitely very medium, but we have lots of good draws. One Ring digs this hand out really great. Plus, games tend to slow down against Yawgmoth in games 2 and 3, so probably leaning on Mirror Pool into Explore on turn 2. It's a shame that our Grazer doesn't really have a spot on the curve, but we'll deal. They thought sees us. That's pretty bad. Probably should take Explore here. That or maybe Dismember. Even if they do take our Explorer, I think I might still just play Mirror Pool so that we could... Oh, they take Titan. Okay. That's probably incorrect, to be honest. I'm still going to lean on Mirror Pool here. I don't think there's a reason to play out Arboreal Grazer here. Ignoble. Alright, let's go ahead and play Explorer. It's not impossible for us to want to just dismember this ignoble right now. I think I'd rather maybe hit like either a Yawgmoth itself or a Wall of Roots. Both of those are more important than ignoble hierarch, so I think I'm okay to just, you know, play forest and take it slow here. Oh wait, I should have played the Grazer. Oh well. Sorry, we'll still be able to one ring this upcoming turn if we draw it. There's really nothing that's punishing us for not playing the Grazer. I guess other than taking a point of damage from the ignoble hierarch. Steal until instep here. If they play a Wall of Roots, I probably will just dismember it, as weird as that is. I think it's good enough to dismember. We are taking one from the ignoble. Oh no! Oh no! Not the ignoble beatdowns. Blood Artist and Haywire Might. Maybe we want to dismember Haywire Might, I don't know. I think at this point, our opponent's on low enough resources that just saving dismember for Yogg is going to be just fine, so. Titan. Alright. Well, let's just play out some stuff. I'm going to go ahead and Grazer now so we could top deck an untapped source and be able to Titan next turn. I'm not going to fire off this dismember on something that does not matter, so we'll just float a green here and pass it back. Fire Spout on this board would be pretty good too. Not that we have the mana to Fire Spout at this point, but if we held the Crumbling Vestige, we could, but that would also be worse for drawing an untapped green source, which we don't have many of, so maybe it would have been okay. Okay, here's the Yogg. We will dismember this one for sure, and we'll do it immediately. Play land. Okay, yeah, this one's gotta go. If they want to draw cards, they have to sacrifice their board here, and they probably have to draw cards, so sacking the ignoble makes perfect sense because they have the mana that they need, essentially, so I wouldn't be surprised if they sacked Haywire Might also. If we resolve Titan this upcoming turn, we're probably getting T-West and like a bounce land. They sack the Haywire Might also, so that means that if we draw the One Ring, it'll be a good draw. Are they gonna sack the Blood Artist too? That's quite a sacrifice, because this one is how they're gonna actually kill us with an infinite combo, at least. Nope. Okay. Well, our Dismember killed 3 of our opponent's creatures, so there's that. Drew Bounce Land, and it's a blue bounce land, so that's actually really good for us. We'll pick up Vestige here, because we could draw Fire Spout, and maybe want to do that instead of playing a Titan. As crazy as that sounds, if Fire Spout were good, and we drew it, then probably playing Fire Spout would be better than just slamming a Titan for no reason. Although, we'd have to do the math. Maybe we could Titan into Fire Spout by getting some Crumbling Vestiges. But there's definitely a world where we play Fire Spout this upcoming turn, so Halfling. Yeah, if they just play a bunch more of these types of things, then Fire Spout's actually pretty dang good. They can Woodland to copy something from the graveyard, I suppose. We're just going to play Titan. And we are getting... I think it's best to get T-West bounce land, set up a Dryad kill, as opposed to being able to maybe haste our Titan. We can set up to haste our Titan anyways by getting, I guess, World Turf. Let's do that. This way we can go for Titan or nothing else. Let's play the Vestige as well. Hold on to the Boseiju in case our opponent has something crazy that we want to Boseiju. I don't know, like Agatha's Soul Cauldron or something? Or fetch for Stomping Ground, play Blood Moon or something, I don't know. Honestly, we'd probably beat that just by having 6/6s against their no functional lands, so. This is Chord of Calling, okay. Pretty good. Hipatra. Oh, they get to go infinite here with Yogg, Shifting Woodland, Hipatra, at least kill our whole board, which they're gonna wait until our turn to do so, probably. So I guess we start the turn by Boseijuing the Woodland, something. Or wait, I guess we just don't do anything. We wait until they, or like we can play Titan, and when they activate the Woodland, we can Boseiju the Shifting Woodland in response. They can do us at least 7 damage here with the Blood Artist. We could be dead. It's not impossible. I don't know if this is lethal or not. With a 1-drop, if they draw it, it could be. It was a good choice for them to keep the Blood Artist, obviously. Props on our opponent for playing very well. We're taking 2 more damage from the snakes. Then another one from a snake, and Hipatra, and Blood Artist. I think we're exactly dead here. Oh, plus they can attack as well. That attacking is also lethal, so let's go ahead and scoop it up and go to game 3, where we get to be on the play. That was a super cool comeback from our opponent. Our opponent's Shifting Woodland won them the game there. Maybe it's worth playing Woodland even if they don't have Rumble, just because of things like what just happened. On the play for sure. And we'll keep this one. Lead on Valakut and pass. If we draw another Grazer, this could potentially be a Titan turn 2. Oh my gosh, dude. Why is Magic Online so bad about the card sorting? It's annoying. I don't think Dryad does it. I think Dryad is 1 short. Haven't done the math. I mean, we are going to play Dryad, obviously, but... So we go Amulet into Grazer. Yeah, Dryad is 1 short. Because we get to leave 1 floating here, and then get another 4 when we play Bounce Land again after resolving Dryad, and that does not let us get to Titan, so we'll do this, play Gruul Turf, and I guess play and crack a map. Or we can wait to crack map until their turn, so that we know what we want to get. Probably going to be Bounce Land regardless, though, to play around Boseiju. Actually, we might, I don't know. I think it has to be Bounce Land since we left the bounce land in play. So let's just crack it now so we can F6. We'll get the Simic. All right, our opponent could Thoughtseize us, so we're not guaranteedly winning yet, but we're very close to it. And we have a lot of good top decks, even if they do Thoughtseize us. No Necromentia, since they don't have the mana, so that's good. Wall of Roots. Maybe one of the best cards in their deck, weirdly enough. Another Wall of Roots. Yep, so this represents Chord for 2 next turn, or activating Haywire Might. Luckily, Haywire Might is not good enough here. So they could like Chord for 1, like counter, tap, Chord for 1. Oh, no, tap these 3 and use a mana Chord for 1, and they could activate 1 Might. So they're like 1 mana short of being able to Chord for another Haywire Might and get both of our amulets. So yeah, our opponent is still dead. Although we've drawn one of the Valcuts, which is kind of sad, but all right, we'll go Bounce Land, Titan, and haste off of Valcut. I don't think that we're getting Valcut triggers here yet, though. And we're not getting triggers from Valcut. So maybe there's something else that we should be trying to set up here, because we're 1 land short. There's really not much else we can do, though, so definitely Valcut Hanweir is the pick here. And then I guess we need to set up something in case they can kill our board. Like if they have like exactly Hapatra plus Yawgmoth or something like that. We need a backup. Or I suppose they could like Blood Moon us or something. Is there anything we can do here that actually matters? I think it's just Talari West and Blue Land. Or maybe Mycosynth Gardens to copy Amulet in case we need double Amulet. I think that makes sense. And I guess we copy now. Really no reason not to. I guess they could have, I don't know, something that would kill artifacts and enchantments, so we'll just leave it, pull up the mana. I think this will give us the best chance of recovering if they somehow have a way to deal with our board, so. Next turn we can just play Valakut and start getting Valakut triggers, so there's that. Young Wolf. It's really not impossible for them to set up a Yawgmoth turn here, and it's only because of the fact that Wall of Roots is just super good. Appears Yawg. So next turn they can Chord for 3, or they can Chord for Hapatra if they have Chord. Not this turn though, but, well, maybe they can this turn. I don't know if they used, all right, we're gonna yield to these. They gotta draw a Chord if they don't already have one as well, so there's that. So I wonder if they could have tapped their mana differently so they could have naturally drawn Hapatra as well. Just shrinking our Titan will not be good enough here since we do have second Valakut and tons of lands with Dryad, so another Haywire Might would be annoying. No, actually, that wouldn't do anything because it can't hit Dryad. So, yeah, I don't know. Playing out Surveil Land is interesting. Mellover Beseiju, okay. Yeah, now I think we're pretty much 100% to win, so since they can't really Chord for anything meaningful anymore, and they already played their land drop. I would not have played out this Surveil Land because then they could have used an untapped land to play, like, another 1-drop, like a Young Wolf or Halfling or something that could have mattered, but now there's just nothing they can do. They can't even kill our Titan here because the Yawg is sacrifice another creature, so we're just good here. I'm still not going to copy Amulet because I don't think we need to. Our opponent was very close to having put something together here, and it's because of Wall of Roots specifically, so there is that. However, I am just going to send some Valakut triggers at our opponent's face. Alrighty, so we ended up 3-2, which is not too terribly bad. I think that this is about where I'd want to be if I was playing no Analyst Amulet Titan, so if that's something that you were looking for, then check the link in the description below for the deck list, and let me know what you thought about this list. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.